that requires this level of treatment?
Wrong to our royal
Name
family.
them. Name them.
Awful lot wrong to our. Read the papers.
No, I won't read the papers. You name one. You're in defence of it, so name one.
I'm in defence of it because I personally think that the woman is manipulative.
On what basis? Do you have an act that she has done that's been manipulative that you can recall?
The very acts and the things that she said, she has been proven a pathological liar, and it's a proven fact.
So this is my concern. There's nothing ever specific.
Not liking somebody.
No, it's fine to not like somebody, but it's baseless.
You can keep
it's
talking.
baseless.
No, hang on. Let's just talk. I understand. I do understand you're going to get to a stalemate here.
Exactly.
You don't like her, and you can't see the reasons why she doesn't like her.
I'd love anyone to give me a reason why.
Is there any? Well, you do in a sense because you've got to justify. But it's just that the papers have told you that she's a bad person. Is that it?
No, I know it was my own personal opinion of when I saw it. And you keep on about the woman of colour. I can tell you now, and look you straight in the eye, I didn't think she was a woman of colour. I just thought she was an extremely attractive woman. Basically, she got Mexican, Spanish, Puerto Rican. I didn't think she was a woman of colour. I don't think anybody in this country actually even took that in. I thought she was beautiful.
See her then?
She seemed intelligent. I watched the wedding. I thought it was all wonderful. And as I've said before, when she came on with the Fab Four, and I said to my secretary, and I'm repeating this, I know, but I said, this is a breath of fresh air.
Do you see me? Do you see me as a black man?
Sorry?
Do you see me here as a black man?
I just think of you as an irritating man.
Well, no, but do you see me though?
I don't think.
Do you see me?
Sir?
Do you see me here? Do you see me?
And
you can observe that I have black skin, so you've observed that.
What's the point? What's the point?
It matters. This is the whole point. You can't say it doesn't matter.
A moment unfolded on the Jeremy Vine show that deserves to be remembered, not just as a fleeting panel clash, but as a crystal-clear example of how easily media narratives are allowed to substitute for evidence, fairness, and truth. On that day, Marvyn Harrison sat at the table with the kind of calm but unshakable conviction that you rarely see in these shows, and he delivered the simplest challenge a person can give: prove what you are saying. That's it. No theatrics, no shouting, no intimidation, just an honest call for accountability. And yet, when faced with that basic demand for proof, the female panelist who had just accused Meghan Sussex of being manipulative had nothing. Absolutely nothing. Her response? She told the audience, and Marvyn read the papers. That was her evidence. Not facts, not first-hand accounts, not even a serious attempt to construct an argument, just the recycled noise of the British tabloid press. And in that one brief exchange, you could see the rot at the core of this entire manufactured war against Harry and Meghan. It's a war that has been waged not with evidence but with headlines, not with truth but with propaganda, and in that single moment, the curtain was pulled back for everyone to see. Because let's be brutally honest here, when Marvyn Harrison asked her to prove what she was saying, he wasn't being combative, and he certainly wasn't attacking her. He was doing what every responsible commentator should do, demanding accountability for accusations that can harm real people. If you are going to accuse a woman, a wife, a mother, a daughter, a humanitarian of manipulation, a word heavy with suggestion and stigma, then you better come armed with more than the papers told me so. Because that line right there exposes the cycle of laziness and malice that has defined the British press's coverage of Meghan Sussex. They invent a smear, dress it up in sensationalist headlines, repeat it until it feels like common sense, and then people on panel shows like this one parrot it back as though it were gospel. Marvyn called her bluff and she folded instantly. And that fold wasn't just about her, it was about exposing the machinery that has been churning out baseless attacks on Meghan for years. What's striking about the whole exchange is that the panelist probably thought she was making a strong point. To her, read the papers sounded like a mic drop, the kind of statement that shuts down debate and signals victory. But in reality, to anyone listening critically, it was the exact opposite. It was, an admission of weakness, an admission that she had no independent thought, no personal insight, no lived experience, no facts to rely on. She had, basically, outsourced her entire opinion to an industry that has built its brand on demonizing Meghan. That's not debate. That's not analysis. That's propaganda on autopilot, and honestly, it shows why voices like Marvyn Harrison are so vital on platforms like Jeremy Vine. He refused to let her slide, refused to let her smuggle in propaganda as truth, and in doing so, he held up a mirror to the entire culture of lazy commentary that has poisoned public discourse about Meghan. Now let's pause and really break down this phrase, read the papers. Which papers exactly? Because that question matters. Are we talking about the same tabloids that lost libel cases in court for printing outright lies about Meghan? Are we talking about the very outlets that twisted her words until the High Court had to step in and confirm they lied? Are we talking about the press that admitted to hacking phones, invading privacy, stalking families, and deliberately planting misleading narratives to keep their circulation high? If that's the source, then what does that say about the credibility of her argument? Saying read the papers as proof is like telling someone to watch a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat if they want to learn about quantum physics. It's illusion, not reality. It's spectacle, not substance. And yet that's what passes for evidence when the subject is Meghan Sussex. And this is where the danger lies, because when you reduce proof to read the papers, what you're really doing is surrendering critical thinking to propaganda. You're saying that the truth is whatever headline sells the most copies, whatever story generates the most clicks, whatever smear keeps the most people outraged. But truth doesn't work that way. Truth requires verification, context, evidence. Truth requires scrutiny. And what Marvyn Harrison did in that moment was remind everyone watching that if you strip away the screaming headlines and the endless repetition, there's often nothing left behind the anti-Meghan narrative but smoke and mirrors. He forced the panel, and the viewers at home, to confront the reality that people aren't forming their opinions of Meghan from fact. They're forming them from a media machine that has every incentive to vilify her and zero incentive to tell her story honestly. It's also worth noting the psychological comfort that comes with saying, read the papers. For that panelist, it meant she didn't have to think too deeply. She didn't have to interrogate why she believed Meghan was manipulative, didn't have to face the fact that she had no personal evidence to back it up. She could, outsource her discomfort to the media and just let the tabloids do the thinking for her. That's why she said it so confidently, because for her, the papers represent authority. But here's the bitter irony. The very institutions she leaned on as her proof are the same institutions that have been repeatedly proven to be corrupt, deceitful, and malicious in their reporting. They are not neutral arbiters of truth. They are businesses with an agenda. And that agenda has been crystal clear for years. Meghan Sussex sells more when she's portrayed as a villain. And too many people, like that panelist, have swallowed that narrative whole. This is why the exchange was so important. It wasn't just Marvyn versus a single panelist. It was accountability versus propaganda, evidence versus gossip, truth versus spectacle. It laid bare the hollow foundation on which the campaign against Harry and Meghan has been built. And the fact that it happened on live television, in front of an audience who could see the flimsiness of the anti-Meghan argument in real time, matters. It matters because for once, the usual script was disrupted. For once, someone like Marvyn said, "No, you don't get to smear without evidence, you don't get to hide behind tabloid headlines, you don't get to call a woman manipulative just because the media told you to." And in doing so, he didn't just defend Meghan. He defended the principle that truth still matters. even in a media landscape that seems determined to bury it.